Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we're going to talk about gold and silver. Oh my. $2,000 an ounce for gold? $27 an ounce for silver? We got to talk about this. Let's talk about making some money. And welcome to Foci Optics. Check. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back. Well, let's talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's the gold and silver rush, but you still have time. A lot of subscribers who's been around for over a year have heard me talk about gold and silver and precious metals when it was $15 an ounce for silver, when it was $16.50 an ounce for gold. You might have been thinking I was talking crazy at the time to get a little bit here and there. Well, now silver is up to $24 an ounce, $25 an ounce. Gold is up to $1,960 an ounce. We're going to hit 2,000. But luckily, I've been talking about these ETFs. We've been talking about gold and silver. We even had a stacker prepper on to help you out. Now is the time to consider looking at gold and silver. And like I've always said, as long as everybody wants it, you know where my money's going, those ETFs. We're going to go to the computer. We're going to talk about it further. But now's the time to grab yourself some. And we're going to talk about selling on the upside. That's right. You heard me. As everybody's coming in, rushing in, and you're buying it at $21, $22, there's somebody that'll turn around and buy it from you for $25. And I'm going to give you the reasons why. But we're about to go to the computer now. So stay tuned. All right. Welcome back. Here we are at thegoldprice.org. I'll have a link down below in case you want to go to this website. And the reason why I'm here first before I get into the fundamentals is because you can see the price. It's around 1961. That's as of today for gold and 24.38 for silver. And you can see here on the right hand side that we have today. Then they went 30 days, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 20 years. So you can see in the last 30 days the price has increased over 10% for gold, and for silver 30 days has went up 36%. So it appears there's a silver rush. How do you combat the silver rush? Or how do you join the silver rush? Well, before we get into any of that, first we got to go to the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page. And I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And if you would like to support the channel, there's a join button over here on the right hand side. So please join. Now, let's get down to the fundamentals. United States government did a stimulus package 1. $2 trillion. They did a stimulus package 2. It was a few billion. That's what I call stimulus package 2. I call this stimulus package 3. And we have a problem, Houston. The one package that the House, the majority House, which is Democrats, passed in May was for $3 trillion. The GOP, which has to actually pass the law and have to make things happen, they come back right now after 3 months damn near, come back with a $1 trillion package. Like I said before, there's somebody out here actually trying to get money to the people. There's other people who are sitting here trying to siphon off the money and give it to the businesses and corporations. I'm going to get into that in a minute. When you know the GDP for America is basically around 19 trillion, 20 trillion, this year it's not going to be that because of the pandemic. You're going to have situations where right now, this year in 2020, we could have GDP of somewhere like 14 trillion, 15 trillion. If you're trying to print up 6, 7, 8 trillion dollars, half of your GDP for handouts. That's a problem. That means your cash that's at the bank, your cash that's in your pocket, is worth a hell of a lot less than it was 7 months ago. That is what you call inflationary situation. Okay? When there's inflationary situation, this is why gold and silver will start rising. Now keep in mind, physical gold is what I'm talking about here. Those gold bars, the silver bars, the silver coins, the gold coins. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about that stuff that you're going to find at the store that you might rummage through and find it there. I'm actually talking about American Silver Eagle type things. I'm actually talking about 1 ounce bars, 1 gram bars, 1/10 of an ounce bars, whatever we're talking about, it's going to be verifiable gold. We're going to talk about making some money a different type of way with gold and silver than just basically what I've been talking about using ETFs and the stock market. I'm talking about buying physical gold, and a lot of you guys, like I said in the open, if you've been around for a while, gold and silver, when silver was under or around $15 an ounce, which was over a year and a half ago, I had a little challenge at that time. And I challenged people to buy some silver or gold or join me if they thought it was going to go over higher than $15 and I think 25 or 35 cents. I would give people 10 ounces, and if it went lower, then you would have to give me 10 ounces. I lost. So I had to give out 10 ounces of silver. Luckily, only one person took me up on it. But anyhow, because of that situation, even back then, when they did the tax cut, that allowed corporations again and banks again and all these guys to do things with credit. When they're saying we're going to drop it down to 0%, the Fed reserve rate, they kept dropping it and dropping it. That allows these banks to get loans for a higher amount, because now you can borrow more for less of an interest rate, which now means you artificially blew up the money supply again. So sooner or later this is going to take effect. Well, guess what? With the pandemic, the stimulus and all that, there's a cause and effect. Now we're having the gold and silver rush. We've been talking about having, like I said, under 5% under your belt if you could. And there are ways you could have done it. So we're going to go into this. But right now, I want to just do what's happening right now as we speak. You knew this was coming. The Senate, which is basically ran majority as Republicans, so they can't vote it through unless everybody agrees. But in this case, there's even a few Republicans that are like, hey, man, what's going on? How are you going to drop the unemployment from 600 to 200? In fact, how are you going to let it almost run out in like 2 or 3 days without even dropping this on us right now, 2 or 3 days before it expires? That's kind of ridiculous. Putting people under the gun. All the while, they're sitting there trying to get these liability protections for businesses. Not health care for all. No, not that. They're sitting there trying to figure out how businesses won't get sued because you're putting people in the harm's way because other people are sick and could infect another person. No, they're not concerned with that. They're just concerned with if somebody walks into business and the business gets sued, oh my God. Instead, how come there's not something in here that says, hey, you know what? We're just going to make sure the Affordable Care Act is down. If you get sick, you roll in the office, we're good. How about that liability? But okay, I digress. This is why I get a little heated about this nonsense. If you're trying to help Americans, why would you do that? You would just make sure everybody's got health care. You make sure everybody's got that can get tested and find out what the test results are within 24 to 48 hours. Now let's get on with this. They're coming out with this HEALS Act is what they're calling it. It's a heal, all right, when you're trying to give out $1 trillion. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that $1,200 stimulus check, they have agreed to that. But last time, about 100 million out of 300 million people got the stimulus, the $1,200 stimulus check. And I'll tell you, I was not one of them. And there's about another 200 million people who were not one of them. Okay? They're trying to siphon money off to give to corporations, but I don't really care what they do because what we're doing is balancing against them. They're printing money. We got to get gold and silver. We got to be into gold and silver somehow, whether it's physical or whether it's paperweights with stocks, ETFs. That's what we have to do. Okay? I'm going to go down here. They're trying to go the 600 and change it into 200. And then they're trying to do the liabilities. And then they're trying to give more money to the PPP, which nobody's going to oversee, and they're going to forgive it all. So that's how they're going to get money up to the businesses as well. So I'll leave a link down below to this Vox. All right? Now, they're printing more money, which means the gold, silver, precious metals go up. All right? I wanted you to see this here too, because when they're doing this here, they're trying to do this right here. Okay, right now, banks must count all assets, including relatively safe ones like customer deposits that banks choose to park at the Federal Reserve and Treasuries. Okay, there's a ratio that they have to adhere to. Well, this guy and a few others are working on legislation that would give regulators discretion to let banks exclude those items now, which means their balance sheets when calculating how much capital they are required to hold. That means they have a different ratio that's going to allow them to buy into more riskier assets and have the money to do it. The money that they got free out of taxpayers' money. So what do you think is going to happen with the stock market? There's going to be a temporary rise. It's going to keep going higher, higher. So you got to have your money in the stock market. And at the same time, you got to get your money into gold and silver, whether you want to get physical gold or silver, or you want to use ETFs. Now let's talk about this. Here's the other thing. When they're printing up money, 60 billion housing grab by Wall Street. You think these the home prices are going up just because you're sitting there going, man, how is there 40 million, 50 million people out of work, 1 million people getting laid off a week and unemployment? Housing prices are going up again. How much did corporations, Wall Street get on the first stimulus package, second stimulus package, and this stimulus package? They have enough money to buy up damn near zip codes. Okay? This is what's been happening. You guys, please don't sleep. Hopefully I'm bringing this to you so you understand this is a cause and effect on why there's going to be a gold rush and silver rush and precious metals rush. And right now it's happening. It's been happening actually for the last year. It's just been rising so slow. And then recently right now, because of a demand issue with gold and silver, or supply issue, it's a supply and demand. It's capitalism at its finest. If I barely have gold, silver, or precious metals, and I got 1 million people looking for it, that means the price is going to go up. And then if miners are not producing enough gold and silver, prices are going to go up because we can't even get to reach the demand level. Common sense, right? Meanwhile, you got these guys over here grabbing assets, houses, homes that you're going to have to rent from a corporation, a capital, like a Prospect Capital. PSEC is a stock. They give dividends every month. Things like that, all right? Now, without further ado, let's get on over here. Here's the gold prices. All right, and I was telling you at the beginning of this that I was going to say, recently something came to the forefront for me. I didn't ever think of this, quite frankly, because I'm not one to really think about gold and silver as to sell for right now, for long term. But there are people out here right now who actually buy gold and silver from silver dealers. Not APMEX, not SD Bullion, but from actually in your neighborhood, coin shops, dealers, things like that. So while APMEX is charging like 30% premium above what the silver price is, it's $24. You got to buy it from them at $30. And you got to buy this gold, even though it's $19.64. You got to buy gold for $2,000 and like $50. It's like a 10% premium for gold. But at the coin shop, the guy might charge you maybe less than, they'll charge you less than that premium. Okay? Now, just think of it this way. If you would have bought silver when it was $18, I'll have to change it all up. But what I'm trying to say is, you bought silver when it was $15 really, but because of the premium, it cost you like $17.50. All right, I go by cost, what I actually pay for something. I don't go by theoretical stuff like this right here that says $24 and that says 1964. I can't buy it from Amex for that much. I have to pay $30 for silver, and I got to pay $2,050 or a little more than that maybe for gold. So therefore, I count whatever I bought it for. So anyhow, I bought it with the premium. Let's call it $17.50. Now, I can go on eBay. I can go to the coin shop. I can go somewhere else and say, hey, I'll sell you these 100 ounces for $23. Somebody will buy it because they know that there's a silver rush and gold rush. And now you've made whatever that percentage is on your money, 30% on your money. That's how you can profit when things are rising. And the same thing goes with gold. When it was $16.50 and now it's up here around 2,000, 1,900, you could sell it to somebody for 1,900 right now. And if you were at a coin shop and you didn't have to pay the higher premiums like Amex, you could make money this way. And the gold rush is on. All right? So just keep that in mind. Now is the time, if you have the extra income, the extra cash flow, to get yourselves, whether it's an ounce, whether it's a gram, whether it's 1/10 of an ounce, whatever you can do, just make sure you get it from a reputable source and you keep the paperwork, because authenticity may matter later on down the road. Okay? Now, let's get on with it. As far as I have on here 1 month. And the chart here for gold, you can see what has happened here in 1 month. A month ago, it was 1,777. At that price point, you had to buy it for almost 1,900 back in the day from Amex. Okay? Now, it went up just like this, as you can see this chart here, rising rapidly in the last 30 days. All right? Silver, it looks similar. It was only $17.96 a month ago. Here it is now, 24. So in theory, again, if you were able to buy it at $17.96 and sell it for 24, that's a huge percentage. In fact, that percentage is right here with the 30 days, 36% on your money. Gold is 10% on your money, and no matter how you slice it, if you get these 10%ers, 10% numbers and 36% numbers in 30 days, imagine if you can add on an additional 10% over the next 6 months. So if somebody tells you you can earn 40% on your money or 20% on your money in a year, you would take that every day, all day. And you wouldn't be shy about it. All right? So don't just think of money as money working for you. And that right now, if you have gold, silver, or any other precious metal that we were talking about a year and a half ago, and you would have bought a little bit then, you would be well ahead of schedule as far as inflationary situation. If things get out of hand here, where inflation will get out of hand, this stuff could be double. Silver could go to 30. Gold could be in the 2,500, 2,600 range. That's not even a problem. It all depends on what's going to pass with this stimulus check. And by the way, these guys go on vacation, I believe, again, in about 7 to 10 days or something. It's incredible. All right, what else we're going to talk about today? Oh, SD Bullion, one of the spots I just showed over. I wanted to show here. You can see the price. Here it is. If you get 1 through 10, look, they're charging. In fact, look at that. That's 2,093. You have to get 100 ounces to get 2,067 price. So that's basically $100 more. So it's only a 5% premium, roughly, maybe a little bit more, 5 to 10%, depending on if you get 1 through 9 ounces. So that's why I wanted to show this screen, because you can see the additionals. So if you have a relationship with the local shop, what do? Right? And look at here. They're at $34. They're charging almost $10 more. That's more than 30% that's crazy. That's almost 40%. And again, product not available till August 14th. This is incredible. They're charging like $9 more. This is why I was saying it's better to get a relationship with a local source than to mess around with this. But either way, there's going to be a gold, silver, precious metals rush because even platinum's rising. So that just gives you an idea. Let's look at platinum here. See, they're at 1,059, and again, they're only a 5% premium. So just think about it. Now, let's get down to what we've been talking about for the last 3 to 6 months is the miner stock, because I still contend if gold rises like it just did in 30 days, 10%, that means anything they bring out of the ground now is worth 10% more. So if you can have an ETF, like an AUY for instance, I have the year-to-date chart up. What I'll do is 1 year chart on this, because this is the miners. So to me, they lag behind. And so you can see the gold miners, that's 123%. But yet, the gold price only moved 10.5%, 37.93% in 1 year. So that's interesting, right? Now, when we start talking about DRD, which is also a gold producer, 1 year chart, and by the way, DRD, D as in David, R as in red, D as in David stock symbol, they give out a at the $16.97, they give out 2.55%. At the $6 price range, that means it was like around 4.5 or 5% as I recall on my money. So I'm earning dividends from DRD while I'm still holding, or not, this isn't physical, this is paper, as I'm on the stock market. And by the way, I don't have to look for a buy or sell. That's always been my thing. But anyhow, over the last year, 438% price increase. All right, paper. Now, I'm not saying at this time, because there's a gold rush, that you should not buy physical gold or silver. If you have the extra income for it, go do it. But I'm also saying you can buy the alternative. BTG. B as in boy, T as in Tom, G as in George for all the podcast listeners. 1 year chart, 106% on your money. All right. FSM, me and Curtis Davis. If you missed the last live stream, we talked about these. F as in Frank, S as in Sam, M as in Mary, Fortuna Silver Mines. Their year chart. Let's see what theirs looks like. This is silver. Their silver chart says 77% on their money in 1 year. 1 year ago till now. That's what we're talking about on all these that I just mentioned. We got 77%. And then I have iShares, Silver Trust. And they're also at 47.86%. And once again, I'll go back to the chart where 1 year silver performance, the physical, has increased 48.67%. The difference between the two is I have to sell the gold and silver. That means I cannot sell my gold and silver for, well, yes, I should reiterate, I could possibly sell my gold and silver above the price. Because in order to buy it at a lot of sources, they charge a premium. But let's just keep things for real. I mean, I might be able to sell it for $23 an ounce for silver, $1,900 an ounce for gold. I get to make some money, but I'm not going to realize these full 48% numbers, or for the year 37.93% for gold. But with the stock, the ones I bought last year, I would realize those gains if I sold it today. The 120, 140, the 77% gain, if I sold right now, that's actually realized. I don't pay a premium for it. At Robinhood and Webull, get your free shares of stock by downloading the software below. It's down in the description, please. Don't miss out. And don't forget, everybody who's already downloaded Robinhood and Webull, you can share a link. Go in there to where it says free stock and share the link with your friends and other people, because then if they sign up, you get a free share of stock and they get a free share of stock, and you will be doing affiliate marketing, and it's almost like an extra stream of income. That's what we're all about around here. Remember that. Streams of income combat a bad economy. Streams of income combat a loss of a job. Just remember all that. So, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you'll join me in this and get yourself into the great American gold and silver rush that's going on right now, and you're going to be aided and abetted by the government because they have to print more money. They have to, because they have to save their 1%er friends. You got to understand this. This isn't just a capitalist society. It's part capitalist, part socialist. All right? So with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please, like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. That's why we're always talking about extra streams of income. And you got to get it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you right now, things are about to go worse. When there's less jobs available, it has to be worse. When things cost more money and there's less jobs available, it has to get worse. When they're printing more money and your actual physical dollar bills are now worth less, that is called inflation. The numbers for inflation are fudged. It's a lie. Up until 1980, they used one way to calculate inflation. After 1980, they said, oh no, we can't have people believing that inflation is 5-10%, because then they're going to want their paycheck to be increased 5-10%. We're not down with that. So you have to understand what's going on here. You're being played. But those people who are here with us now at Stop Struggling Now, playtime's over for them. You know what's going on. You're not walking around without the knowledge. You have the knowledge now, and now you can make preparations. When you know there's going to be inflation, that's why there's a gold and silver rush right now. They know people are printing money out of thin air. Okay? So with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.